Hey everybody, Jason Sims here, Motorcycle Cannonball, where we are coming to you live, Wichita, Kansas, from the Marriott Hotel, where it is our day of rest. That's right, we're taking the day off today, letting these guys relax and do some wrenching, much needed wrenching at that. A lot of guys I know were limping in here on the last few days just to try to make it to this day where they probably overnighted parts, gotten stuff sent in. Of course, they all need to do laundry, get cleaned up, get their motorcycles back in tip-top shape where we make the charge starting tomorrow to the West Coast. We hit the halfway mark early in the day on Saturday, and from there it's all downhill. Well, we got a few up. I wouldn't say that because we got a few good uphills coming that they're going to have to battle. But anyway, we're going to make the charge to the West Coast and really get going on this Cannonball. And we've got a lot of great stuff coming up. Anyway, we got something really cool happening here this afternoon. Our great friends at Johnsonville shipped us out a bunch of brats and hot dogs. These aren't any just normal brats. These things are one of a kind, only made for VIPs, sent to like the Green Bay Packers, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, they're really taking care of us out here. We got the grill fired up out here. Let's give them a quick look of these tasty little things. Just great food. Great afternoon for all this. We got the trailer loaded up here with all the condiments, everything. Riders are happy that, they're getting another great lunch this afternoon. Can't thank Johnsonville enough for sending us this food this afternoon. We're going to eat it all up. We're cooking here now for all the support crews, riders, anybody that comes out and supports this afternoon. We're trying to put a brat in their hand or a dog and get going back on this. So
check out Jonas.
We got a guy right here from Wisconsin.
Oktoberfest, stage beginning.
So you're a guy that's probably well known to brats, being from Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But are you a Johnsonville fan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're not far away.
Nice. So tell us what on your day off what you're doing.
Learning a lot about my new motorcycle, new to me. So I just adjusted the primary chain, I'm adjusting the rear wheel, changed the oil, changed the transmission fluid, set the valves, and then all the Cannonball stuff. So all the battery operated stuff, the lights, getting that all ready to go.
Perfect.
And I did put the seat back to the solo seat. I had a couple people tell me it's going to be a lot more comfortable, and kind of fabricating some footrests so I can get my feet up in front of the floorboards.
Oh, cool. So yeah, you've been with the motorcycle, the new one, 3 or 4 days now. What's
4
your
days,
thoughts?
1,000 miles. I love that bike. It was this is like meant to be
American flathead power.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's so much fun to ride. So much fun to ride.
They really are.
Yeah.
So
I feel very lucky. All things considered, I feel lucky.
Heck yeah. So not much more left to do on the bike today.
No. Then we're going to turn up the polkas and we're going to have.
We heard the music out there earlier. Got the dress going on, and we'll have to check in with your camp here in a little bit.
We'll do. All right.
Perfect.
Thanks.
All right. So I think what we'll do here is let's do a little bit of parking lot chatter, check in with a few things, see what people are working on this afternoon, and let's make our way this way.
All right. It's actually a nice weather day. And again, I just wanted to say thanks to Chris Stewart at Johnsonville. You always take care of us, bud. I appreciate it. Let's head over to Micah. Hey, Micah, bud, how's it going? You got some time for me, man?
What's up?
Give me the skinny. What happened? I gotta, there's a super secret text message that, we get, and I had a bad hunch, and I said, hey, Micah says he's running on one cylinder. So tell us about what happened, and you made it in.
I started cutting out. If I gave it too much throttle, it would die on me. So I just slowly gave it the gas, and she ran in at 55 miles an hour.
So she opened up. Why don't you show us what you've been doing, bud?
Did
you already? Oh, look, he's really quick, by the way. Micah already pulled the top end off. And
I pulled one cylinder, one head off.
Yeah, you did.
I'm checking the valve lasher on the front cylinder.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, you got the low side of the cam, and you just.
Yep.
What do you set them at?
6 and 8.
6 and 8, right?
Unless you race them, get a little tighter.
Yeah. And how's she running? Up till now, running great?
Yep.
Man, it's I don't really get to catch you, Micah.
It's a good little bike.
You know, it's like, you know, the repeat offenders I get to catch, but you, I haven't seen you much. Every now and then we'll catch up at a gas station and you got the biggest grin on your face. You're having the most wonderful time. You love this, right? Man, it's a great bike. We're going to head over to somebody else. Thanks for checking in with us, bud. Thanks, man.
Thanks for having the Cannonball, man.
You got it.
It's a good trip.
All right. Oh, we need to head over to John Bartman. So a day like today is either relaxing or stressful. And I think these guys got it down. They like to get into it. Hey, Mr. Bartman, how are you doing, sir? And Billy, you got to say hello. Hello. So tell them what's going on.
Well,
show them some of the stuff that happened.
Well, we discovered we had some cracks in our rear tire. And since we have a new tire, we're going to swap it out before something bad happens.
Well, you're hard on the equipment.
Right, I have to go fast. You know, Jason doesn't give us a lot of time every day.
I know.
We got to haul that.
Some people catch up to you and say stuff when you're in the restaurant.
Yeah. Some people eat the rest of our food.
It happens.
You know, it's me. No, it's not. I wasn't gonna mention his name. Trying to film.
So why don't you show us some of the chain? You were riding it and it was banging around and it was making a lot of noise. Why don't you come over, Jason, and let's show them what's happening here. So a lot of times,
primary chain slab coming in for the last 40 miles or so.
Right.
Yesterday. So today I pulled the cover off, and as soon as I pulled the clip off, the master link falls off in 2 pieces right here on the table.
So that's luck, right? There's
That's
a lot
luck.
of luck.
That's a lot of luck. Yeah.
Tell them
yeah.
how much luck it comes onto this event.
That is so. I got the luck of these 2 Irishmen working on a bike here.
Nice. Yeah, because you know very well that was a hard ride. Not particularly because of the elevation change or anything. It's just the constant drone.
The high speed running that we were on with those highways yesterday.
Yeah, just running the high
Trucks
speed.
passing us and blowing us all over the place.
And let's show them what a rattlesnake is. Show them what a rattlesnake is.
The rattlesnake is the other rattlesnake's gone, but we realized our chains were worn. You can see where they bend. They're not supposed to bend like that.
Yeah, a lot of times when we were kids, we used to shake them because we'd say, yeah, it's a rattlesnake.
So we're replacing both our chains today.
Okay.
We got 2 new chains, a new tire.
You're ready to tear up the equipment.
We actually found something in the linkage we could tighten up so it's a little more firm. And we're going to be ready to go, man.
Yeah, man. I love it. You're always hard on the equipment.
Right.
That's why we get along so well. That's all right. Oh, did you catch some Johnsonville yet?
I know. No time for that right now.
Oh.
I was told there's hyenas over there, but I think it's bullshit.
Oh.
I mean, thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, let's check in with. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey, I want to talk to you guys for a bit, see what's happening with you, and what's happening. All right, tell us where you're from. I know you're from Florida, but why don't you tell everybody out there where you're from, what you're doing, and why you're doing it.
Sarasota, Florida. Well, right now we're trying to straighten out this front end because it's binding a little bit. My front tire stops when I hit bumps, and that doesn't seem safe.
Right.
So we're gonna fix that so that everybody's safe around us too. But why we're doing this Cannonball? Would that be a question? Well, I don't know. I think what better way to see this small town America than travel the back roads at 40, 45 mile an hour on a motorcycle.
What's your cruise on this one?
43 mile an hour.
She's
locks
happy
on.
right there.
Locks on. That's it.
So when you're running 43 miles an hour, you really don't have a lot of space to bank time. So you got to get on it. You're gassing, you're going.
Yep.
And you're really trying to keep the timetable tight.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what's a typical day? Are you taking lunch or no?
I take a sandwich with me in the morning. I eat it at the first gas stop.
Right.
So I get a bite to eat. I fill up a gas. I get about 100 miles on this tank and 40 miles on the other tank. So I usually pass by everybody at the first gas stop and then find somewhere after that. And then everybody passes me 2 or 3 or 4 times through the course of the day.
That's right.
You know,
it's a back and forth playing with the herd, right?
Absolutely.
Well, you guys are doing great. How's your score standing? Because I don't check that stuff. How are you doing?
Don't think I'm dead last, so okay. I'm good.
All right.
I'm
good.
Hey,
you know, they always say about running away from a bear. Yeah. You don't have to be the fastest. Nope. Just not the slowest guy that's back there. Good job, man. Oh, Carlo. Let's do Carlo real quick. Hey, Carlo, how you doing, Bubba? How you doing?
Good. Good.
Can you give a second to talk to me? What's
You
going
bet.
on? All right. Tell them about your scout. Tell them who you are. Tell them where you're from and what you do.
My name's Carlo Lujan from Auburn, California, and I'm an Indian motorcycle dealer in Auburn, California. And this is my first Cannonball.
How you doing so far?
I'm still in it.
How you feeling?
Missed a day. I'm feeling okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a little fuel problem, little fuel tank leakage. So now we have a hillbilly accessorized.
Hey, Jason, let's check out what he did for the fuel tank here. So why don't you tell them what you did and why you did it? Because you don't want to deal with this. You can't. A lot of times you have to change your thinking on the Cannonball, right?
Right.
You're not. This is not a 100-point setup. This is a let's get the job done. So
Right.
tell us about what you did.
So we at MacIver this there. A friend of mine in Tennessee, Dream Rides. He said when I got there, you need anything, give me a call. So I gave him a call.
And this is what you got. Now, where did this rig come from?
That came off of some kind of a Honda Quad that was one of those deals where somebody brings it into a dealer and then they never pick it up. So they pick it apart and there it is. So I had it mounted on top of a tour pack earlier, but it was rattling the tour pack apart. So what I have underneath here is a 2x6 that I was using to roll my toolbox in and out of the trailer. So with a hacksaw, I cut it to length and strapped it on there. And here we go.
And so real quick, Carlo, tell us about the other thing you had to take care of at the halfway point. You learned some stuff going on in the top end. What happened?
I learned a lot of stuff in there. I had a lot of carbon buildup, and I believe it was happening. It was so much carbon that it was flaking off and holding the valve open at times. Led me to believe that I had a valve sticking. But once we pulled off the heads, found out that you could wiggle the valves, and that was all fine. But there was a lot of carbon buildup. It was actually starting to compress. And I'm pretty sure it was just flaking and holding the valve open.
Yeah.
And
Now,
so-
may I make a suggestion? Everybody, I tell people that do general maintenance on their bike on the halfway point, and don't ask me how I know. I've done this before. But if you don't go take it for a hot lap or do something, you'll be like, oh, I didn't do that. You're running at the start line. And then what happens to your day? When you have a day like that, when you start a Cannonball, what happens?
You'll end up missing a day.
Or
more.
And it rents space in your head.
Yeah.
You start screwing up on the map.
Oh, yeah. Done that several times.
Right. What have you figured out about the map? I know it took you a little while to get a hold of it.
I finally got it down. Ron was very helpful. Everybody's been helpful in trying to explain it to me. And I do kind of sort of have it down now.
Okay.
And
yeah, because you were doing crazy. What Carlo was actually doing was actually using his original Speedo and resetting the clock and trying to calculate. And you know, that's you figured out there's some huge discrepancy.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't reset all the way to zero when you hit the button. And,
Right.
that was
And
really,
so what does that do to your head when you're trying to navigate?
it's throwing you off by miles.
Yeah.
So I have to watch very closely when I do that it does zero out. And on the longer mileage segments, it'll be off a couple miles. But now I know what to look for on landmarks. And I feel pretty confident from there. And if I get too far off track, I'll be calling. Reel me in.
Well, you know, we run into each other on the road, but you're running steady Netty on this rig, and that's great. You know, I have a special place also in my heart for Indian 101s. I've ridden one on the Cannonball as well, the old Wall of Death. Her name was Morticia.
Yeah.
And she just about damn near killed my hips. But, you know, look at me. Look.
Yeah, we're pretty equal height.
Yeah, I think we're equal height, right? Carlo and I are. Thanks, Carlo. I appreciate it, man.
This is fitting me very nice.
Yeah, the saddle height on a 101 was considered one of the best. Let's head over here. Let's talk to some Canadians. All right. Hey, gentlemen, I need to speak to you for a second. Bonjour, comment allez-vous, monsieur? Ça va bien?
Très bien, merci.
All right. Tell them how we know each other, why you're here, who you are, and where you're from.
Well, I'm John Ropel. I'm from Bayfield, Ontario, Canada. And the guy over there is Greg Holmes from the same place, just one house down from me. So we're here to have fun.
Well, when I first saw Greg, and let's look at Greg real quick. Greg is all rigged out for golf. I was like, do you play golf, Greg? And he goes, yeah, I play golf.
Don't be nasty.
Oh, hey, I went to school in Canada too. So,
Yes, I do.
So, we have a special bond that way. And sometimes I give you guff, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Have I given you any guff on this ride?
Yes, you have.
What kind of guff did I
You
give
gave me guff about riding the white line and setting the bike up for the turns on the Maggie Valley.
Okay.
2 days later, a guy asked me, where'd you learn your road racing skills?
Oh,
I like that.
where was I?
You weren't there,
Okay.
conveniently.
That's how it works. Yeah. So come over, tell us about the bike. Yeah, man. Tell us about the bike.
It's a 1935 Harley
Let me
Davidson.
get out of the way here so Jason can get in while we're talking about it.
Okay,
You'll tell us.
1935 Harley Davidson VLD.
Where'd you get it?
It's been in the family since 1936.
Oh, wow.
Belonged to my uncle. He rode it until 48.
Nice.
And then he bought the 49 that I ran in last year's chase.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Hey, we had good times on the chase.
Yes, we did. First day was a little not so much, but after that it was great riding.
I mean,
Great riding.
and we appreciate here on the Cannonball that, we tell them it's an international event, right?
Yes, it is.
And you come all the way from Canada to make this happen, right?
Yes, we did.
I can't believe they let you in.
I can.
We have fun, don't we? Come on, we have
This
fun.
is the only place that you can go riding and have someone there in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
You're with like-minded people.
That's a slogan that I always say, like-minded. Give us a couple real problems that you've had and overcome, worked with on the bike, and what this event does to your machine in particular.
It likes to shed parts.
Okay. Low frequency or frequency vibration?
I don't know. The seat pin dropped out somewhere between Greenville and here. And so I rode for 2 days with no seat pin in there with no suspension on the back end.
Did you know it was not there?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But
did it kill you?
No, but it hurt a lot.
That's a slogan that I have. But did it kill you?
No, it didn't.
We're having a great
It
time,
hurt a
right?
lot. Yes, we are. Went to bed last night, believe it or not. I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night, and I didn't hear anything until 6
Right.
this morning. And I intend on having a nap this afternoon.
Well, hopefully we'll be joining you, right? Mr. Opal, always a pleasure to hang out with you. You know that.
Take care.
Thank you, sir. Well, let's head on. Jason, I'd like to do the Narcar really good if Ben's around. Hey, is Ben hanging out? Hey, Ben, I was looking for you, man. How you doing? Ben, tell us who you are, tell us where you're from, and tell us why you do this.
I'm Ben Pierce. I'm from Williston, Vermont.
Okay.
That last one's kind of a long answer, I guess, but
Give me the short of it. Why do you do this?
It's a challenge.
Okay.
It's a challenge, and I like the achievement of doing weird shit with
Weird, huh?
weird bikes.
If there was a motorcycle that may have been brought here by extraterrestrials, this might be one of them.
Yeah.
However, a lot of people, not this particular version, but a lot of people don't know it. But Cannonball Baker actually rode it. Now, give me what was the record when he did it? They told him, "Hey, don't break the rig."
Yeah.
And they told him to keep it slow. But Cannonball Baker himself actually did the ride across the United States. What was the gas bill back then?
I don't remember.
$20-something or 19. It was something crazy back then in adjusted dollars, but it was really low.
I don't remember how much time he took.
Do you
either,
remember
but,
how much the gas bill was? On the first Narcar to go across the United States, they touted that in their advertisement. Do you remember? Well, now wait a minute. I think you're a Narcar guy. Right. Yeah. So you've had the other Narcar and you did it 2 times?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, I rode it in 2014, sharing it with Brian Pease, and then 2018. Ben Pierce here has been he was the rider of it. But by adding the 2 mileages together, we've been across country on the Narcar.
Oh, that's one.
Cannonballs to do it.
No, you did. You guys really worked really hard. And I remember the first time you showed up on the 14, and it was wonderful to see you guys. We let you do your own support crew because we knew there was handicaps.
We're going to do it, yeah. And that was every afternoon. We weren't going to win anything, so we just went and picked up the Narcar, whoever was driving the.
And you're here
motorhome.
supporting Ben?
Yeah, that's correct. And also Brian Pease on the Henderson.
Excellent.
Yep.
I want to talk to Ben real quick because we had a really hard moment a couple days ago with Ben. Ben, you had a perfect score, right?
I did. I had a
What happened
perfect
there?
score up until 2 days ago. That was like 5 days in, stage 5, something like that.
Right. Can you kind of tell people out there what that really can do to your psyche when you're doing an event like this? Because I don't know if people really understand what that translates to.
Oh yeah.
You know, with all the time, the expenditure, and the effort that goes into making it and showing up here. Did that rent a lot of space in your head?
Oh yeah, man, that was a rough ride in the van for the rest of the day. I was the only one in the back of the van, which is unusual. In the previous years there was 12 people back there, but so yeah, I was just sitting with my thoughts, and man, I was almost crying back there. That was rough.
However, let's talk about what really happened, and let's get Jason in here to kind of show the design of what this is. Now, this is a 4-stroke motor, and most of the 4-stroke motors, there are not many of them. And I think Clint has one up in Oregon that he rides. But tell him what really happened. You probably wouldn't have had to go on a trailer if you knew much, but you were scared.
I would have had to have just the right set of like slightly weird tools, and I would have had to know. Although there was a guy who knew. I told him what happened, and he just knew. That's Brian. That's our Henderson guy. He's amazing. That there was just a little piece of gunky carbon buildup that had gotten loose and
keeping the valve open.
It's stuck under the intake valve, and it happened all of a sudden. I think that's how Brian knew that that's what it was. When I told him it happened all of a sudden. Yeah, like maybe I could have done that on the side of the road. It took me an awful long time to figure it out later on, so I don't know how realistic it could have been to actually get it going again that day. But it wasn't a huge deal. The motor was not messed up. I thought I'd blown the motor, but it really didn't. Not at all.
Yeah, no. The thing about the Cannonball will really push you to think about things a lot different, right? You'll think about it. Like you said, you were in the van. You're in the van, it's renting space, and you're just thinking, and your wheels are turning in there, and you're sitting in the van thinking, am I going to be up all night? Am I going to be right? Those kinds of things. But yeah, great job, Ben. You've been doing so great. I think you're going to make every mile from here, right?
Well, have you said that it's basically fixed now? I think so. I don't know if you said that on the microphone, but I think it is.
So I'm asking people in the parking lot because it's a day off. Are you going to take a hot lap on it?
Well, I mean, I kind of did. Just now already on the roads out there, headed up to 40 full speed.
Okay, perfect.
And
no, that's great, because you know what happens when you think you got it fixed, and then it turns into a nightmare.
Let's ask him what the baked potatoes for.
Yeah, what's so Ben, tell us about what's the baked potato all about?
I carry that with me everywhere I go. Of course, this doesn't work without it. No, this is lunch. That's the last part of my lunch.
What do you think of the Johnsonville Brats?
Yeah,
very good, and I highly recommend Johnsonville Brats.
Sweet. Hey, Ben, thanks for catching up with us. Right, we're gonna run around and do some more. Ben, thanks, doing a great job. Okay, we got to talk to these guys over here. They're really fun. Jay Wack. I mean, with a name like that, Jay Wack. Jay, I need to talk to you for a second, Bubba. How you doing?
Very well.
Jay, why don't you tell us who you are?
Okay.
Where you're from,
all right,
and what you do, and why are you here?
Well, I'm Jay Wack from Harmony, Pennsylvania. Okay. I'm pretty much retired.
Okay.
I was in heavy equipment sales.
Okay.
Okay. And why I'm here, I just want to challenge myself on an old motorcycle and go from coast to coast.
And Jay, I've ridden with you before. You get close to the boards on the curves and whatnot. Uh-huh. Boy, we got to that one gas station and we were like, "Where is everybody else?"
Yeah.
You're
right.
We were catching.
Oh yeah, we was rubbing.
And you had a grin from ear to ear.
Every day I have a grin from ear to ear.
And you got a perfect score, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. Now Jay's serious about the event.
I'm digging it. I'm telling you. I like the roads and setup. And
so tell us about your bike real quick, man.
It's a 1931 VL. I put it together from scratch. Had a fender in the front end, and bought an engine over in Ohio, and already rebuilt the engine. And I just kind of pieced it together from swap meets. Old school, I'm not a computer guy, so I never used the internet.
Right.
Everything was just from swap meets.
Now, you remember back in the day when we did this, when I was a kid, My mom got so upset at the long distance phone bill when we would try to find parts for this because there wasn't internet.
You're right.
And you'd have to get on the phone and you'd have to talk to people
Yes,
about
you
things,
would.
and they didn't always know who you were, but if you could talk to them and you had a common thread, they were like, hey, wait a second, I might be willing to let some of this stuff go to this guy.
Right, or they may give you another source that you go to. Maybe a friend or.
Well, it was crazy in architecture school. I had a professor. He's always like, listen, I got this. You can probably get the answer within 5 calls. He used to say that.
Okay.
And I find that.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes within 5 calls, you can get the answer.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Okay, let me show you.
Oh my Lord!
So let me put my lid back on here. Okay, so I got a tank of water back here in my saddlebag. This is a pump off of a boat. That's the primer pump for the gas. Okay, and this is a nozzle off of a garden sprayer. So when I'm going down the road, okay, I squirt myself like that to cool me off.
Yeah, man.
That's genius.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's West Virginia air conditioning,
with
right?
with a name like Whack.
Oh, yeah.
That's whack, but it's great. Jay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Jay, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for talking with us, bud.
Absolutely.
Cool,
guys.
man. Sweet.
Like it, love it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right, let's where do you want to head? Over this way, Bubba?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what we've been up to. What have we been up to?
What haven't we been up to? I mean, just keeping the show in motion, going from town to town, and just getting everybody from point A to point B safe every day.
Yeah, sometimes. So sometimes we have our own little bits of chaos and map changes and things, and I get lost too. And sometimes I'll go off course to go take care of something that somebody else needs, and they're like, "Ryan, where are you? Why are you off course?"
We got the Italians.
Italians are here. We've met up with them. Everything going good? Well, you'll get it fixed though, right, guys? Got a hole? Let's see it.
Problem in the tank, but
But you'll get it fixed, right?
we resolve.
Yeah, resolve it.
Resolve.
Facile.
To the bike.
Facile, easy, right? Easy. Facile in Italian. Tell me easy in Italian.
Facile.
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 Is this facile? Is this event facile?
Molto facile. Cannonball, no facile.
Yeah, no facile, no easy, right?
But Cannonball is unbelievable. Unbelievable experience.
What do you think? You gonna come back?
Yes, if I can in 2025, Italian team back.
Why would you come back?
Because the spirit is unbelievable. The place around the USA is unbelievable. Around the bike is our dream. Sorry for my English.
No,
but,
man, that's great. No, you're living it
try.
though, right? Thanks for coming over, Bubba. I appreciate it. We love it. See ya.
See you later.
All right. Yeah, the Italians are great. They're always having a great time.
They are one of the funnest teams to watch this year, just because of their spirit.
Right.
It's really been a treat to watch.
Let's catch up with the number 1 rider. What do you say? Is Todd here? Todd, I need a bit of your time when you're not occupied, my friend. Well, why don't you tell them what we're doing?
Robbing from Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah. Alex has to help Todd keep in the game
Right. Why is that?
He's on my.
because he broke his.
Here, let's put some heat on it.
He broke his. Todd, show him your tower.
My tower, you didn't see it?
Todd broke his tower yesterday and had to ride in basically with the atmospheric, and I blew my motor up, so I'm giving him my tower right now so he can keep going.
So
There's his.
But you're going to be riding?
There's his tower. Yeah, I have an extra tower.
Okay, cool.
So, but anyhow, you can see his supposed to have two
Two
ears
buttresses that hold
like
the
this.
rocker, right?
I call them ears.
Ears, yeah. That works.
We
I think we got ears. You got two.
But buttress works too.
Yeah, you like that?
Anyhow, so you can see that one broke off. So he's getting back in the game though. Hey, do you want me to take this in silver solder?
So real quick,
I don't have a
real
piece.
quick, Todd.
I don't have a piece. Yes.
You got a lot of discipline out there. What's going on?
Discipline me?
I've been watching you.
No. Dude, my failure is going to be me in my right hand, dude. Well, you know what's good is Alex is gone. Because that's bastard. He wanted to race yesterday in the twisties, dude. Should we tell him the story, dude? We were back and forth coming out of the lake there. Bitching roads again, Jason gave us. So we were, I want to call it Moto 1, dude. We were racing pretty hard both. It was bitching. I wish we had video.
No, I got the
So
pictures right here.
We were rolling, dude. We were rocking and roll. It was like what, 5-6 miles of it, just back and forth in the twisties. So, but he's got power on me, dude. So we're doing 50 through there, which I shouldn't do. I shouldn't be doing 50.
Why?
Dude, I gotta. It's an endurance race, right? It's not a race, right? It's an endurance. You gotta last.
A lot of people out there don't know why. So you gotta educate them.
Oh, why? Yeah, it's an endurance race. You just got to get to the end. I need to back off, but it's not in my mentality, dude. I don't know what back off means. I don't even know how to spell it. So, but I'll tell you the story. So I don't want to lose. So he was beating me on power. And on the last hill towards the finish line, after we were finished it, dude, I'm sneaking up. See, here he is, and I'm sneaking. And I reach over with my hand and I grab his basket and slingshotted him, dude. Bye-bye, Alex. Bye-bye.
Kind of like reaching over and cutting the kill switch at the start.
Exactly, dude. Yeah.
There's always some kind of shenanigans going on. Hey, guys, thanks.
So I'm bumming.
Hey, I want to, real quick, let's look at this piston. What's going on? Tell me about what's happening.
That is not good, dude.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that.
So what's happening there?
That's what I would call detonation.
Okay. So you trying to run it as fast as you can, or what?
I have been, dude, but it gets so hot climbing those hills, that heat dumping into that piston, dude. I got to stop doing it. So now this is my last high compression piston. So I don't know. I'm actually considering swapping that 180 degrees and keep running it. It's still good. The ring's not locked, so it's good, but I don't know that would have made it the rest of the way.
Wait, you need rings?
No, I'm good. No, I was worried about it crushing that ring, but you could see it's free there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to swap that piston 180 degrees and keep running it, or I haven't decided yet. Maybe put the low compression piston in it. I don't know.
It always rents space in your head, right?
Yeah.
People don't understand, but there's a huge mental game to this, right?
Huge. The whole thing is, dude. And my problem is just staying, like I said, staying off of the throttle, not trying to run too hard.
You don't want to break the equipment. You got to make it in.
That's right.
You're running a perfect score.
Endurance.
Here, Jason,
So far.
look at his head gasket.
So far, yeah.
Look at that. It got so hot that
Yeah,
the
it's
copper
melting
started
the copper.
melting
Yeah.
and oozing into the cylinder.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, do you?
No.
Why not?
Because copper doesn't like to burn in your cylinder. I feel like you're the teacher and I don't have the answer.
I'm supposed to be the teacher. Well, when you put dissimilar metals together in heat, gentlemen, bad things can happen, right? Especially when one's got to slide past the other.
You have the strongest neck in the world,
I
dude.
do, Mr.
You
Cameron.
had to put a chain on there. Jeez.
I do, Mr. Cameron.
You need a bigger crescent wrench. Can we
Well-
hook you up with a bigger one?
Well, you keep one of those, you can get a lot of business done on the side of the road when I find the repeat offenders. And you have not been a repeat
Let's keep
offender.
it that way.
All right, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. Let's check on Jared. Jared, you got a second for me, Bubba?
Yeah.
How's it going, man? Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, your bike, and why you do it.
My name's Jared Rinker, number 37, hometown Romney, West Virginia. Third generation Indian rider. My granddad always had Indians, and then my dad had Indians, and then we grew up with them. And so I just love wrenching on them and riding them. And we put this bike together a couple years ago out of parts. This is the second Cannonball for it. Still got the same spark plugs from the last Cannonball. I just put new tires on it.
Yeah. Now, really tell us why you show up to do this.
Oh, well, because I just love it, man. I love just the challenge every day, wrenching at night, and just all the camaraderie and like-minded people. It's just like one huge family. And these, a lot of folks I see off and on throughout the years at various motorcycle meets and stuff, but then other times, some of these folks, I only get to see them, at the Cannonball. Yeah, once every 2 years. So it's, yeah, I love everything about it.
Hey, so tell us, we see you got a seat on it now.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, that means starting tomorrow, my girlfriend's going to ride with me on the back till we get to Las Vegas. The one exception might be the day we go across Monarch Pass. I think she's going to ride in the van that day. But for everything else, she's planning on being on the back.
Now, you plan on keeping this relationship?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And that's why I added the extra padding here. It's because when we were riding around at home, that metal strap was hurting the insides of her legs.
Okay.
Can't have that.
Yeah, she'd be like, I want off the smoke wagon. I want off the smoke wagon.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right.
Does she like it? She's been like, wow, this is crazy.
She likes it. Yeah,
Cool.
she likes it a lot.
Well, yeah, just, don't yard sale her.
Yeah, I'll try not to. I'll try to keep her on.
All right, Bubba.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, man.
Hey, no problem.
Cool.
See you guys.
See you, bud. Who are we heading to now, Jason?
Catch up with the champ. See what he's up to.
Number one. Number one. Mr. Bucock, can you say hi to us for a quick second before we go say hi to the champ?
On behalf of myself. What's the question?
How are you doing?
Oh, fine. You know what? I just walked around for a hot dog, and I said the Cannonball is doing really well. All those guys with the machines, they're getting them ready for tomorrow. It looked really, I don't know, there's something nice about it.
Victor, how old are you?
81.
And how many cannonballs have you done? No, come on. Tell us your real age.
It is 81.
Oh, I thought you were.
I thought it was 36. No, seriously, why don't you tell, just because we caught you real quick, that bike probably has more miles on it than maybe any bike that's here. Is that possibly?
It's possible, yeah.
We're going to go look at it. You want to walk over? Yeah. Yeah. So here's Will. You and I will talk about it. Jason's going to film it. So you can relax.
Yeah, okay.
So tell us some of your trials and tribulations that have happened while you've been here, Mr.
Well, I've been riding it this time or throughout its life.
Well, let's just talk about this event because we've had all kinds of chaos happen with you on these events, haven't we?
No, the wonderful part is the bike I've never had any troubles, only once before, in 6 times across, 6 cannonballs. And this one cannonball, I was going down the road and the push rod fell off, and it's somewhere in Middle America, Eastern America. And we that night we got George Unruh, one of the great guys, to help us make a new push rod.
So he whittled you a new one on the lathe and all that nonsense?
I had 3 extra push rods. I've had it before.
I asked you when that happened. I said, did you safety wire them? You go, no, Ryan, I forgot.
No, and I forgot. That's the second time I've forgotten. And now I'm 81 years old. That's quite normal. Forgetting that.
Now, did you safety wire them this time?
No.
Lessons are hard learned, right?
The factory never safety wired them.
No. Although Joe Godella, the great, he had a 14. He safety wired his, and pretty smart engineer and rider. Yeah. So,
Victor, it's always great to see you. You know that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and being
thank
a big part of
you
it.
guys, especially you and Jason and Lonnie. That's
special to us, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. See you guys. All right, we're going to talk to Mr. Courier, number 1. There, and you see how diligent they are. You know, you don't hold the number 1 position haphazardly. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Bubba, can I talk to you for a second?
Love to. I need a break.
Hey. All right. Dave, for those out there that don't know, why don't you tell them who you are, where you're from, and why you're doing it, and where you stand in the position, and why you hold the number 1 plate right now.
Well, my name is Dave Courier. I'm from Fargo, North Dakota. I'm riding a 1911 Harley. This will be my 3rd Cannonball. I rode in the 2018 and 1915 Twin, and then in 21 I won the 21 Cannonball and the 1911 that we have in this race. And currently I'm in slot 2 behind Todd Cameron on an 09 Indian. We both have all the miles. He's got an older bike, but I think I'm better looking, that's no doubt about that. So long story short, it's the Indian against the Harley again here for all you folks at home, and we're ready to get it on. And I think the big test for all of us singles, and there's a few of us left standing. We came out of the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachian, very tough days on the single cylinder guys, and now we're here in Wichita, Kansas. We're moving on to Colorado, and that's where the separation of the game's going to happen.
Yeah, one of the big days of the event, I caught you right when we were pulling into Maggie Valley. And one of the things I was concerned is knowing I had a little bit of knowledge about what lay ahead for you guys after Maggie Valley. Why don't you tell us how that went down with you and what it was about and what you had to accomplish to get out of that valley?
Well, to get out of Maggie Valley, for the folks at home, it's at the bottom of a huge canyon and valley. And the climb out of there was massive. You go around one turn, you're still climbing 6 to 8% grade. It doesn't quit. And I got on one hill, I got about halfway up, and that was it. There was no more go. So we had to get off. I burned the belt off. I went through about 3 belts that day and the laggings on the hub. And in my case, I pedaled a little bit, but I didn't want to pedal much. I'm not much of a pedaler. So to get out of there, it took a lot of, I guess, determination on my end to get the bike to the top of the hill where I could actually rebelt and actually enjoy the ride. It was a tough go coming out.
So I think one of the things that some people don't really understand about these, they'll look at this and they think that's a bicycle with a motor put in it, and because they see the pedals. Yep. However, that's not really why it has pedals. Why don't you, the reason why
the reason why the 1911 has got pedals is to start it. It has a chain activated starting system. So you pedal like a bicycle and it starts the bike. Once the motor's running, then the belt on the other side takes over, and it's got a big shiv on the rear wheel and a small shiv or lagging on the hub. And that's the stuff that really drives the bike. And when that either gets wet and stretches or burns off, there's no forward momentum. So the belt on the 1911 is very critical to the success. I have no clutch. It's one gear. You pull the tensioner to make a tension and you go.
It's like a friction clutch. I used to build go-karts just like that when I was a kid. You'd have a pulley and it's a tensioner, and you feather it. You have to keep the torque on the motor, and that's why you're burning up the belts.
You know, and I came with 50 belts on board.
50?
And I had,
how many are we down to?
Well, I went through about 8 belts already.
8 belts.
And, you know,
And so how many belts do you pack for a day ride?
Typical day right now, I've got 4 belts on the bike racked up, ready to roll. And that way I could do a quick change. It takes me about 8 minutes to drop a belt and put a new one on.
But that 8 minutes pays dividends later, does it?
Yeah, you can't move forward without a good traction, and the belt quality is paramount to the success of the ride.
So people don't understand that a bike like this rents a lot of space in your head when you're running it, and you see the hills coming up. And
this is not an easy bike to ride. I can't touch the ground. I have to mount it like riding a horse, where you climb on the saddle, you pedal it to start it, and any traffic or wherever you have to stop, it's just not a friendly bike to get started because there's no clutch. I basically got to run and push it, jump on, pedal it, and then pull it into gear and let the lagging and the shiv take over at that point.
So it's a crazy system, and Jason's been going around. So how do you feel? You feel relaxed?
I'm glad we had today as a day of rest. I got about 12 hours of sleep last night. I'm going to get more this afternoon yet. But the bike's ready to go, and I'm ready to go. And I think the big challenge for all us single guys is what's coming in the next couple days.
Yeah, and it's really close to my backyard, so I know that pass.
And I don't think many of us have ever had a motorcycle to 11,316 feet, right, let alone a 1911 single Harley.
And what some people don't really understand at that elevation, I live at 7,000, so it's atmosphere, and there's a whole lot less of it.
You know, the thing about the 1911 Harley is it's atmospheric valve. There's no rocker arm, no push rod. So when the piston sucks down, the vacuum is what creates the suction to open the valve and draw the fuel in. So it's really a unique motor to operate.
And so one of the biggest problems with that too is when you lose atmosphere.
When you lose atmosphere, you lose power. And quite honestly, when you get up to the 10, 11,000 foot, you probably are 60% less in horsepower. You know, this is a 4-horse motor to start with right out of the box. So we're not dealing with a
So we're getting down to a 2.5 Briggs and Stratton.
We're getting down to lawnmower and less.
Yeah, well, I know you're going to do well. You always do well.
I bring it in, you know that.
I do. When I do catch you, I do try to run block when I can. But, you know, I always get a call, and then I'm like, you know, I have to take care of what's going on the side. So.
No, we've been doing pretty good. You know, we've had a few things that blew up that we didn't expect, but we're tweaking the bike, and the more I ride it, even some of the stuff, you know, I've ridden this bike a lot. And
well, give me one of the big things that blew up that you did not expect.
Well, we came out of the Appalachian and the Smokies, and I basically overheated the rings, and we lost rings, which loses compression, which loses atmospheric valve, which makes you not go.
And are you running you're running an oil ring on this one?
Yeah. We didn't score it up or anything. It ran well, didn't burn any oil, but it just took the zing out of the rings, so we had no compression left.
Just curious, I'm getting technical here. Did you do a one piece or a 3-piece oil ring?
It's a one piece.
One piece, okay. And but it's controlling the oil and well, and you've got it metered out. You
Yep.
know exactly. Now, are you running the hand pump?
No.
Not at all.
No, this bike has got an injected amount of oil in the crankcase to start with, and then I have a dripper on it that drips 5 drips per minute.
And you probably well know when you put too much oil, it's like putting the brakes on.
You can't have too much oil because the heat goes up and the speed goes down, and it gets sluggish real quick.
It's windage from that. Yeah.
But we've had all the days. The ride's been awesome. We've been in some country that we were the only people in. It was unreal. So the back roads have been good to us. We got a lot of pretty cool stuff coming ahead. We got the Royal Gorge. We got the climb over the top. We've got the riding the mountain ridge, the Skyline Drive. Those are good.
Stuff I haven't told you about yet.
The stuff that Jason hasn't told any of us about yet.
Jason doesn't share everything with us. He always wants to make us riders really know. When
Well,
we got something.
there's been a lot of things we've been keeping you on your toes in terms of, and me too.
I have to say, though, Ryan, this has probably been a more difficult Cannonball from the standpoint of getting to where I am today. We've had heat. We started out in 90 to 100 degree heat. Then we moved into the hills. Thank God we didn't have any rain, but yet at the end of the day, he picked out some pretty difficult roads for us to get to.
Yeah, it's kind of a sickness, right? Like every time I would show up to the Cannonball and every time I do this with us now, it feels like, are they really trying to kill my rig? Like every time they plan the map, sometimes I feel like there's a sadistic.
Well, I can guarantee you after the last few days, the guys on singles, they've been ready to take a rest.
Yeah.
It's been a grueling ride, but fun.
So what would you tell people? Is this in fact the hardest antique motorcycle
There's
run?
no doubt in my mind this is the most difficult motorcycle race in the world. And the reason it is because when you can't get to the top of the hill and you can see it, you have only 2 ways to go. 1, pedal, or 2, get off and push. And that is not a fun event, either one of them.
And as you well know, sir, you're in it. You've got the mindset, and the bike shows, and you guys have got it really well organized, and dividends have been paid.
The hat's off to my team, John and Tim. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. They basically they're in this thing as much as me, and they got a tremendous amount of input in what we do here each day on the bike.
And you're having, I can tell you're having a blast. Sometimes I can see some headspace being rented as you're on the behind the bars, and you're checking the scene ahead of you and that's difficult because you really got to plan when you're riding a rig like this.
1 day at a time, 1 mile at a time. That's the way it is. You look at each mile and you look at what we got on the map. And as our director said, believe in the map. If it says 7.5 miles, you better make sure it's 7.5 miles.
Oh, absolutely. And, there's been a lot of times where you just think to yourself, why do people even begin to think about 3 days ahead or 2 days ahead?
I don't even know what day it is, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I just focus on what I got in front of me today, and I deal with what's on the street right now. We got to be out there. We got to not only look at the map to make sure we're on track, but we also have to be safe. And it's, we've been in traffic, out of traffic, remote settings, wet conditions, wind. We've had it all.
And I think that it puts it to the test. There's a reason why we do it. It's because it's hard. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it.
You got it.
All
Motorcycle
right.
Cannonball.
Motorcycle
2023.
You love it.
We're on it, baby.
Hey, man. Thank you. Always
You
good
got
to see you, Bubba. All right. Where are we going to, Jason? Oh, you want to? Yeah. Well.
We got dogs over there, guys?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have Johnsonville Brats out there.
Okay, down in the corner?
Yeah. I hope they haven't eaten them all because everybody was on them. I think we want to close it down for now. Maybe, I don't know, Jason and I'll talk about what we got to go on a little bit later. But coming to you live from beautiful Wichita. This hotel has hosted us before. I want to give our shout outs to them. Everything's been wonderful. As you guys can see, Ryan's not as hyper, is he? It's like Ryan is on, he's on his, turn the volume down a little bit. try to keep it calm. Jason and I have a lot of other stuff that we've got to take care of the event. And in the meantime, I really like it if you guys, reach out, comment, make some notes or in the comment section. Let us know what we're doing. Let us know what you want to hear about. But I think we're getting into our our sea legs, and we're moving to the mountains. We're moving to my backyard, Jason.
Yeah, we'll be leaving from Wichita tomorrow. Here from the Marriott Hotel, I think starting at about 8 a.m. For you guys that are in the local area.
So if you haven't come out and seen this fiasco, if you will, it's something to behold. A lot of people have a special place in their heart when they do this event because they come out and if they love antique motorcycles or just love motorcycles altogether, the great thing that occurs is they have a smile on their face and they just love it. And then they're glad that we bring this rolling museum to them. And I don't know any other thing to say than this is the greatest place to be right now. Taking a break, relaxing, but watching people get the stuff done and being committed. And that's great. So from Motorcycle Cannonball, you want to go over and talk to them a little bit?
No, let's cut her off.
All right.
Maybe check in later.
This is Ryan Allen signing off at the beautiful Wichita.